Definitely recording. Yes. Okay, good. Wonderful. Welcome to episode 0 of Bros Talk Film. It is a video cast thing. And yeah, we should introduce ourselves.
After you.
Okay. So my name is Ryd Cook, or Ryd Cook, and I'm a filmmaker.
And I'm his brother, Josh Cook, and I'm a video maker.
Yeah, so there we go, we are brothers, and that's what we do. So yeah, just to be real quick about this, Bros Talk Film, we're going to talk about a film. And the film we're going to be talking about today is Kingsman, The Secret Service. And that's what we watched last night. And yeah, the idea of the video, or the podcast, or the video cast, or whatever it is we watch a film, and then me and my brother talk about it. And you know, we actually we debate films quite a lot, and we actually have differing opinions quite a lot, you know, so
we have slightly different tastes.
We have very different tastes.
You prefer more art house stuff, I prefer more mainstream stuff.
Totally.
Not that
Not
that I don't like art house and you don't like blockbustery stuff. But that's kind of where our preference is.
That's the idea. So we love all kind of cinema, but actually our opinions like differ quite a lot, don't they? So that's the idea behind the podcast or video cast or whatever it is. And we're gonna talk about the Kingsman today. There are a few rules to this. The rules are A, there's going to be no editing, no titles, no music. It's just going to be straight up one take. And the reason for that is I can't be bothered, or we can't be bothered to edit. We're just going to take it out of the camera, pop it in the computer, and buff it online. Shouldn't have said buff.
Anyway,
put it online.
Should move on, because the second rule is...
The second rule is really important. The second rule is 35 minutes. It's gonna last us 35 minutes, and then that's very strict. We've got a timer running. Do you want to show the timer? We've got a timer running, and when we get to 35 minutes,
probably can't say that.
Show the lens, not the screen. We've got 35 minutes, and then we literally just have to cut. At that point, it doesn't matter where we are in the debate or the discussion, we have to stop at 35 minutes. So that's the rules. Oh, also, we're going to talk about the film, obviously, Bros Talk Film. And in talking about the film, it's not a review. We're not going to try and get you to see the film or whatever, or we're going to talk about the film, and in doing that, we are going to spoil the film. So if you haven't seen Kingsman, and you're worried about that, then maybe go ahead and watch it. We both liked it, I think.
We'll get to that, won't we?
Yeah, we liked it. So go ahead and watch it. But if you don't care about spoilers, then fine. You can watch this. That's fine. Totally up to you. But that's just it. Those are the rules.
Cool.
Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Cool. All right, lovely. So the other thing is we haven't talked about the film. We watched it last night. We didn't say a word about it. Usually, it's a bit weird actually, because usually we'd sort of go straight into like talking about stuff, but we've delayed it for this video. So this is our genuine first discussion about this film after seeing it. So what did you think?
Yeah, I did like it. I don't know why I made that into a... Yeah, I don't know why I held that back, but yeah, I did really enjoy it, which actually... It's weird, because I don't want it to sound... I really liked it, and I don't want it to sound like I'm putting it down, but it lived up to my expectations, which is a weird... Which some people sometimes say is a kind of like, well, yeah, it was what I expected, as if it's not that good.
Right,
but
that's a good thing.
I'd heard... because I'd heard... Obviously, this film has been out for a long time.
Yeah.
I'd heard quite a lot about it, and I'd heard a lot of people saying it was really amazing.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people saying that.
So... I tend, with films that I don't get to see straight away that people are saying, oh, they're amazing,
Yeah.
I tend to just like put them on the back burner for a while.
Oh, okay.
To let the hype kind of die down a bit.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what I mean by like it lives up to my expectations. Yeah, exactly. It was as awesome as everyone was saying it is. Though it was very different than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah.
A lot more brutal. I was expecting it to be a bit more, the violence in it to be a bit more, I don't want to say comic book, but a bit more. And there were moments.
I know what you mean. Like you were expecting the violence to be more, well, not as violent, I suppose. A bit
Yeah,
like
I mean, I was expecting it to be like,
oh, it's a 15.
15.
Ooh.
You know, there's the bit where like, a couple of times they use the umbrella to whip the pint glass at someone's head. I was expecting the violence to be a bit more gimmicky like that. And there was stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of just hand-to-hand brutal, like the church. I'd heard a lot about the church scene, and I figured it was just going to be all little funny little gadgets and stuff like that. But that scene was just full-on brutal fight.
Yeah, definitely.
So it was different to what I was thinking it was going to be.
Cool. So I'd agree with that. So I have this thing with expectations that I should explain is, there's quite a big difference between me and you is I don't watch trailers. I hate watching trailers because I like to keep expectations to bare minimum. So I go on like word of mouth, posters, but that's it.
Whereas I watch a lot of trailers.
Yeah.
I would listen to podcasts about movie news and TV shows. So I keep up to date a lot on what's going on.
Yeah, sure.
I know a lot about stuff normally before
going
into it.
So we have very different things going into a film. So my expectation was I'd also heard that it was very good.
Yeah.
On Twitter and stuff, people had said it's very good. Also, my friend and co-writer Dave Clark had recommended it to me, and he said it's very good. So that sort of piqued my interest. And then Josh went ahead without knowing that and bought it for my birthday. Was it my birthday or? Yeah, it was birthday.
Yeah, birthday.
So he got me that. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, I went into it like with good expectations, and I really liked. And I like what you're saying about the violence there. Like that's something I really like too. You know, the violence was like bosh. You know, in your face, like proper violence that I kind of enjoy, and I feel like is missing from a lot of films these days. You know, when we were younger, you know, we'd watch stuff like RoboCop and Terminator, and you know, it's proper violent. I think, you know, these days there's this tendency to have 12A films, so you know that are violent, but in a sort of not as violent way. You know, like so the stuff I liked is like. I was like, it seems to be like quite common these days. It's cropping up a bit more, like the sort of violence. Maybe it's to do with the raid, where you know you get like a knife in a hand or something, or in a throat, or like some like weird position. I found that really great because it was like and I was like, that was just quite cool.
I think you're right in saying that it's probably the influence the raid has had. On action films.
Yeah,
to make it a bit more. Bring it back to like gritty realism rather than because especially if you think of like because he obviously I think is it Matthew Vaughn?
Yeah, Matthew Vaughn. Oh, I should have mentioned that. The film was directed by Matthew Vaughn, who also directed Kick-Ass. Which I was going
to say. He did Kick-Ass, and that's why I was thinking the violence was going to be a bit more comic booky because the violence in that is a lot more choreographed and I don't know, maybe that's just because it's a kind of superhero thing.
It's quite brutal in.
It is brutal, Kick-Ass. But it's a bit more clean.
Yeah,
it's a bit more stylized and kind of choreographed. Whereas that's kind of choreographed. Where they shoot that and So I keep pointing at the DVD cover that's just over there. That's what I'm pointing at.
I'm bored now. Can we talk about what you didn't like about it?
What I didn't like.
What did you not like about the film? That's more interesting, I think.
I actually don't think I can think of many things I didn't.
Can I talk about what I didn't like?
Yeah,
there's loads of things I didn't.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things.
Well, I didn't say that. There's nothing that I felt so bad that it sticks in my mind.
Okay. Oh, good. That's boring.
I'm not going to say it's a perfect. I'm not going to say it's a perfect film. Is what I'm saying.
No. Okay. So for me, I'm going to bring up my biggest issue with the film because I think that I want to make sure it's in. So I have a problem. I don't know. It's a really interesting film because it's half really good with it and half terrible with it. The representation of women in the film, I thought was pretty like bad mostly. And then also just the like. So I was thinking. I always think about it now when I watch a film. Is the Bechdel test.
Yeah.
I should explain what the Bechdel test is because not everyone knows what it is. Basically, it's a test that you can put a film through basically it's 3 things. So it's like, is there more than one female character? Most films only, they might not even have a female character, or it's just one. Okay, if the answer is yes, it's got a female character. A lot of films do. Then you go on to the next question. Next question is, does that female character talk to the other female character about anything else? Oh, no, actually, that's not it yet. It's does that female character talk to another female character? That's the second one.
Yeah.
And then the third one is, if yes, the female character talks to another female character. The third one is, do they talk about anything else other than men? That's what it is. And most films don't pass this test, which is quite shocking and wrong. So anyway, so I think about this test every time I watch a film. And Kingsman only just about passes it. Just about. I'm not going to get into a big debate about the Bechdel test, because that will waste a lot of time. Let's make a quick point, because I know what you're going to say. I think that a film doesn't have to. That's not like a review of goodness. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, definitely. It doesn't. If a film passes the Bechdel test, I'm like, bam, amazing film. Yeah. Or if it doesn't, I'm like, no, terrible film. Yeah. Like that's not what I feel. I love the Kingsman.
There are a lot of like I think very pro-feminist films that do not pass the Bechdel test.
Yeah, that's possible, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, I mean, I know what you mean. Like, there aren't many strong female characters in it. There's
I don't think it's a question.
There's the unnamed. Well, what I mean strong is just that many female characters in it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
There's really like only 2.
Yeah.
There's the sword leg lady, and that's pretty much all she is.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's Eggsy's girlfriend. Well, she never really his girlfriend.
No, exactly.
The other female spy. And
there's 3 actually.
There is a third female spy that gets introduced at the beginning, but that is literally all you ever see of her.
Yeah, and she dies. Well, she doesn't die. It's revealed later that she doesn't die, actually.
Is that her?
She drowns.
Oh, is that the same? I didn't think
it's a woman.
I thought that was one of the background characters. I didn't.
No,
that shows literally how much you get introduced to that character.
It passes the Bechdel test very quickly at the beginning. Just about. Probably not. Basically, there's... Well, you've seen the film, hopefully. There's a load of spy, people, and they're all wanting to pass this test to become the next Kingsman, and the 2 women, they introduce themselves. They're like, oh, hi, I'm Daisy, and hi, I'm what's her name, Roxy.
Roxy, that's it.
They introduce each other, and then they go, oh, and this is Eggsy. So they are talking about a man, but then later on,
it's not in a romantic way. It's just you can't really get. Like, I think really you need to look at it as like, are they? They're going to talk about a man because there is a man in the conversation.
Yeah.
Well, I think it does in a way, because the sword-led lady never.
She never talks to any other female character.
She talks. Yeah, but I think also it's kind of she doesn't ever talk about adoring a male character.
Doesn't matter.
She doesn't. Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Also, like the Roxy rings the mother. Eggsy's mother.
Yeah.
Roxy rings her towards the end of the film.
The mother as well.
But again, arguably that does pass, I think.
Yeah.
But they are talking about the child, who is a man.
I didn't know.
Yeah, they're like, lock the child.
See, this is why the Bechdel test for me is a bit like. Yeah, but I get it, but
it's just a general thing. It isn't like a hard and fast.
Yeah, they're talking about a male, but it's her child.
So even without the Bechdel test, like, let's put that to one side. I think it frustrated me because the first 2 female characters we meet, one dies very quickly. She is the one that dies. But why does it have to be her? She dies in the drowning thing.
Yeah.
Right. My second thing is, she's a pretty sort of weak character. The bit that really annoyed me is when they're in the plane, and they're about to do that parachute thing, and then she's like, she doesn't want to do it. She's a bit worried about it, or whatever, which is fine. But and then like the Eggsy grabs you, like, stop fucking about.
Yeah, you do. You do have the moment of the man has to tell the woman to like man up. Like.
And that happens again later on in the film.
It's never like, in a way, it's better than some things in that the person who does, she is the one that wins the contest.
And I like that. I like that.
And it's never once commented on that. It's like, ooh, because at the beginning, you see all the Kingsmen, all the old ones, and they're all men. Like, it doesn't look like, and from the paintings and stuff, it doesn't look like there's ever, or we're never shown that there was any previous female Kingsmen. But it's never commented on, or never found weird that there's like, oh, you're the first female Kingsman we ever had, or like, oh, you're not going to make it.
No, and I like that it's not commented
so
on.
it does make sense in some ways, but not in others, I guess.
I think that I like that she got it. What really bugged me about the fact that she did get it though, is she got it, good, right, she's the next one. But then when it actually comes to the big like mission thing, like she goes up on the balloons and then they send in the dude who actually technically isn't a Kingsman to go in and do the actual, and it's because he's a character. And I realise that because it's the film, he's a protagonist and he should do that. But that it annoyed me. It didn't make sense. Like, we send her up on a balloon, get her out of the way so the man can come in, and that's in the writing. So like, thumbs up for having like her passing and all that stuff. That's great. But then also like not so good because it doesn't really make sense. So that bothered me.
It does kind of ignore. There clearly are not lots of other Kingsmen, but quite more than Harry and Merlin and Michael Caine's character. There are more than those three. Yet somehow at the end of the film they're going, oh, we're the only three that can do this. Like, why can you not call one of the other 10 Kingsmen that you saw at the beginning of the film? It's like,
really weird.
What are they all doing?
I don't really understand that at all.
We're going to move it on a bit because I know we're doing this to a time limit.
What is the time?
I have 18 minutes. I have kind of thought of something I didn't massively like. Well, two things I didn't massively like.
Can I just make one more point before you move on? And it's a real quick one. I liked the fact that there was a female character that didn't have any legs.
Disabled character.
Disabled character with no legs.
I couldn't get out of my head when this film, I don't know when this film was released and whether it was around the time that Oscar Pistorius was having a trial or not.
No. I think this was last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Really, I couldn't help thinking, this was around the same time. It's a bit brave to release a murdering person with no legs. But obviously it wasn't. So
that's brilliant. No, I liked it.
I did like Sword Leg Lady, and I'd heard about her, and I was curious of how she would walk around with sword legs, but it makes sense.
No, it's pretty cool. Great character. So thumbs up for that.
Yeah.
What didn't you like about it? You thought for some more things.
I did kind of, but there are elements to it I didn't. And it's Samuel L. Jackson's character.
Right.
I don't like his whole lisp thing. I was just.
Oh, did he have a lisp?
Yeah, he had a bit. He had a little bit, not a lisp, but a weird little speech impediment. Yeah. And it's tied in. I didn't like that because it's tied into the other thing I didn't think worked. There was quite a few jokes for me that just totally fell flat.
Yeah.
And they're almost unnoticeable. And one of them was a joke that said that Samuel L. Jackson said that he couldn't understand British people because they sound so funny when they're coming out of the changing rooms. And I think that was meant to be a joke going like, oh, he's got a bit of a lisp.
Oh, I see.
And he's saying he can't understand that. I don't know if it was a joke or not. That's the thing, and I'm kind of like, there was a few moments like that in the film where it was just like, is that a joke? I don't really know. Like in them eating McDonald's, like at the meal, it was kind of like, I didn't really think that was that funny.
That was a bit lame.
Yeah.
That was lame, I thought.
And like, but I liked
maybe that's because I hate McDonald's, but...
I liked his character as the billionaire who'd kind of like got sick of trying to fund charities and stuff and was trying to like it's a bit of a leap to go to what he went to, but it's based on a comic book. Yeah, I didn't say I want to like his character. I don't know. It just.
I agree with that. Definitely.
Yeah. I can't think of, there was another joke that fell flat, but I can't remember what it is now. There was a couple of jokes that just didn't really...
I agree. There's one, and I'm going to bring up one that really fell flat for me that I was really disappointed in. And it is bringing it back to the feminist thing. But but you know the princess who is locked up away.
Yeah.
And at the end, Eggsy finds her, and she's like, "Oh, I'll do anything if you let me out of this prison." And then he says something about saving the world, and then she's like, "Oh, save the world, I'll do it in the ass." And it's like, like that's.
I think that it just felt a bit like you could have still had that same horrible sequence without the whole ass thing, because like I've said, I've got.
It's just horrible. It's so it's disgusting. I mean, it's not disgusting. Doing it in the ass, fine. Like if you want to do that, no problem. No problem with people doing it in the ass.
That pretty much reduces that whole character to just.
It's a real shame, isn't it? She's a princess, that's saved at the end, and then she is this
she
guy.
Is a literal princess that gets saved. Like,
it's like
it's a bit
ridiculous.
You didn't really need that.
No, I don't think it was funny. I thought it was really, especially a film that does fairly well with the feminist thing. You know, to have. I thought it was. I want to say this right. I liked it up until the point that you found out she was serious about it. Yeah.
I think it would have been much, much funnier if because he was skipping back to the jail cell with the champagne and he'd opened the door and she'd just shoved him out of the way and refused him. It would have
been better.
For a film that is trying to take the piss and have its jokes with James Bond stuff, like and take the mick out of the spy genre and how posh
exactly.
it is.
It
would have been funnier to have that moment, because there's always the moment in the Bond film where he gets the girl.
Yeah, exactly.
It would have been funnier to have him
definitely
that flipped on its head and him kind of like a bit deflated at the end.
Because that's, and they do that throughout the film, which I really liked. They're like, the bit with Colin Firth, what was his name? Character's name, and he's like, "Oh, this is the bit where I make an elaborate plan." And,
I like that.
I could do an elaborate thing, and you get out of it in an elaborate way, but this is not going to happen. Bam, shoots him. It's brilliant. Applying that same thing.
I like I also just sorry. I like the callback to that as the last line he says to
I like that too.
This is not that kind of movie. Like, and that's the thing. Like, they directly say it to you in the script. In it, that's what we're trying to do. This is not that kind of spy movie.
Exactly.
We're trying to comment on it. But then it, so that whole thing with the princess could have been an opportunity to do that.
They could have done it again, and it's a real shame.
But I also want to say that they were very obvious about that, and it makes it difficult to kind of judge some of the parts, because they're trying to comment on tropes of spy films. When the film uses those tropes, you don't know if it's trying to comment on them and go, "Ha, look at this," or if it's just using one of the tropes.
Yeah, exactly.
For instance,
I think it did a bit.
The one thing I did actually point out to you while we were watching it last night was the last scene, the fight with the sword leg lady. I spent the whole thing thinking, well, what gadget has he not used yet? Because that is a spy trope.
That's it.
And it did actually turn out to be, it was the little dagger in his shoe, and it was the one he hadn't used
and that's
yet.
so Bond.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, but it didn't make any kind of joke out of it. It didn't make any kind of like, oh, this is my last gadget or whatever. That's obviously not the right joke to make about it. So you don't know whether it's like, oh, are they doing that to comment on that obviousness, or are they just using one of the tropes? So it makes it a bit difficult to know how successful it was. Like in places like you're saying about the whole talking through like, oh, I'm an evil genius scene makes it clear that's what they're trying to do. But then it's difficult to see, well, are they doing that because they're commenting on it, or because they're being lazy and just using one of the tropes? Yeah.
That is annoying. I mean, I thought it was a little bit predictable as well. Like the bit that I saw coming a mile off was where
it hasn't got the most original story.
It hasn't. The camera moves out of the way. I swap the drinks. Brilliant. It ruined the whole scene for me. And the other bit, where they're testing them in front of the trains. It's like, well, this is a test. I just found that way too.
And that's the thing. It's like they do say, oh, it's not that kind of movie. Like in that scene, they say, I'm a posh spy. You're a megalomaniac, brilliant. But it 100% is that kind of film. But I think
that's okay.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't tell. It's like, are they doing that because like they say, it's like, oh, I always wanted to be the villain with the megalomaniac plan. Maybe it would have been more interesting if if not Colin Firth, is it Colin Firth? Or is it Colin Firth?
Colin Firth,
yeah, Colin Firth. If he'd turned out to be the one with the plan, and Samuel L. Jackson had been turned out to be the good guy, because then it would have flipped that on. It would have been like, he was, and they told us earlier in the film that's what he wanted to be, and he wanted to be the good. You know what I mean? Like, I think all that saying, like, we've been saying a lot of negative stuff because it's quite easy to pick out and talk about stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I did really, really enjoy the film.
Yeah.
It was really, really good.
Yeah, let's talk about more things that we liked about it. How much time have we got left? Dun, dun, dun.
9 minutes. 9 minutes.
What else did you like about it?
I think it was really acted really well. The acting in it was awesome. I did like the whole Kingsman style and aesthetic and kind of uber posh spies. I loved
the gentlemanliness. I like
the kind of boiler suits they wear that are kind of like tweed jackets, a whole boiler suit kind of thing was really cool.
Yeah.
Like, it was really, really funny. Like,
it was funny. Yeah, I found it very funny.
Like, I really liked the main character as well.
I liked him too.
Like, he could have, like,
it could,
like, clearly he's meant to be like a chavvy character, but they made him likable.
Yeah, he was likable. Yeah.
It's another thing. It's like Attack the Block did the same thing. Like, it would be very easy to not have someone that you just like, oh, he's just a dick.
Yeah, I think I like that. I liked you sympathised for him quite well because you understood the situation with his mum, you know, and that guy who was with his mum.
Yeah. And
the fact that his dad passed away very young, and the fact that you know, and they explained that he did really well. He tried becoming a Marine but dropped out. Yeah. So then when he first did that he did some free running at one point. At first I thought, well, he's pretty bloody good at that. And I thought, well, he's a Marine.
Yeah.
You know, he's he's not a Marine. He's half Marine. Yeah. So I always felt there was good reasons behind all his actions.
He said that he was a gymnast as well, wasn't he?
Oh really? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he's really well-rounded character.
Yeah, I think he is. I was a little disappointed that you didn't get to see the end fight with his dad, with his stepdad or whoever he is.
Yeah, I didn't mind that.
I mean, I get like that. It's just going to be the same. It's going to be the same fight as you saw Colin Firth do. Is the thing.
Yeah.
I was kind of looking forward to him kicking his ass, and they teased it a couple of times.
Yeah, they did.
And then they didn't.
I quite like that bit where he wasn't allowed. He went to do it, and then the car drove him away. It was quite nice.
Yeah, it was good.
But yeah,
and. Yeah, I think all the characters were good. There was something else I was going to say. Do you want to say something while
all the characters, I was just thinking about, I mean, I do feel like the Roxy character was a real shame. Because she could have been, I don't know.
It was a bit weird because she got the code name of Lancelot. Yeah. But then they kept referring to her as Roxy.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. Even her jumpsuit said Roxy on it.
Yeah.
Not
and then when she was on the thing,
it's
she was going up on the balloon, and Eggsy had to go up to him. She was all worried. Eggsy had to go up to him and go, "You'll be fine. Don't worry about it."
I did think it was not talking about her. I think it was weird that they were suddenly pulling out a bit of dodgy old US tech. Like, they've got all this high tech stuff they show you all the film. Money has never been an issue. Like, they got this private jet and all these cars, like in a huge hangar. Yeah, when it comes down to it, they pull out. They're like, "Oh, this is a bit of a dodgy thing we got from like the US years ago." It's
That's weird, isn't it?
Don't you have something specialised to it? You've got specialised things for everything else. But no, like I did really like it.
It reminded me.
Drifted back to the negative again.
We have, yeah. Reminded me a little bit of like Austin Powers, especially like the corridors. No, I know something I really didn't like. Brilliant. We're trying to be positive. Ooh,
we've got 6 minutes.
Okay.
Just get out quickly. So there's someone else I want to get in.
Okay, well it's real quick. So I felt something I really liked and disliked at the same time. I loved how the action was shot. It seemed to be in some kind of different shutter speed or frame rate, so it was so slick. Oh, I really liked it. I thought it looked really cool.
But I think it was just because I was expecting something different.
Okay. I love how the action was shot. Like, you had a very long take in that church scene there with the
there was a lot of really nice long single takes in it with obvious Obviously there was cuts in there. You could see where the cuts were, but no, they were really well done.
It looked really cool. But what bothered me is, like, I like that slickness in action. I don't like it so much. Like, I hated the pub. Like, it was the way the pub is lit. And sometimes I really hate. It was similar in like Legend.
It's clearly
when that's not a pub. It's so well lit and so slick that it just, I look at it and I'm like, I just can't. And that was the vibe of the whole film, and it's fine in places. I don't know, maybe it's just a personal thing, but it just doesn't feel like a pub.
Real.
No, it doesn't real.
The thing is, for me, like, I wasn't too bothered by that because it's clearly a film. It's not like
a film.
It's not, as in. It's clearly a blockbuster. It's not trying to be gritty realism, so it's going to be rightly lit. And the pub probably
I think you're right,
more dingy, but
still bothers me. But yeah, I know what you mean.
That kind of leads on nicely to what I really liked about it is that although it's kind of hyper Britain, like obviously there are elements like the uber posh Kingsman and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I do think they for an American film, which is odd, they got Britain really, really right.
It's a British director.
Is it? Isn't that British?
He's British, yeah.
Ah, is he?
It's arguably a British film. I don't know. It depends where the money comes from, but
I didn't know that
that's a British film.
It felt like a very American film.
Pardon me.
It felt very American.
Yeah.
But they got Britain really right.
They did.
They did all the details, like
the
signs in the pub. Like they had signs that were like the chalk signs all drawn out and stuff like that. Like, all the little details were right. And I think sometimes in America, I mean, go back to Austin Powers, they have that joke about where he goes to Britain, and it's clearly in like the Californian desert or something like that. And there's just a post box.
I don't remember
telephone box on the side of the road. Like so, and they didn't ever do the one trope I always hate, which I don't think they did. I might be wrong in this now. I'm saying this. They didn't ever do the little shot of Big Ben. We've got 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Oh my gosh.
Shot. They never did the shot of Big Ben with the little tagline "London" and then when they go to.
No, they didn't do that.
They didn't. They went to many different places. They did travel over the world a little bit. They never did that. They never showed like another. I don't know if they went to Paris, but the Eiffel Tower was in Paris.
No, they didn't do that.
So like. I kind of think that does show you that they treated the audience with a little bit of intelligence.
I think so. Yeah.
But yeah.
Right, let's wrap up.
Okay.
We've got 3 minutes left.
What are we wrapping up? How?
I don't know. Never done it before.
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I think it's a really, really good film. I think there's I don't know, some really good characters in it. Some really good, some really not so good. The action's excellent.
Yeah. It's a good, solid film.
Yeah.
Like, it's really entertaining.
Super fun. It's hilarious.
Really well made. Really well written.
Yeah.
I don't know if that main kid Eggsy's been in anything else.
Yeah.
I think he's really good.
He's good.
If you're watching this and haven't watched it, go and watch it.
Yeah.
Like
sure.
it's definitely worth it. But
yeah, and let's finish the podcast, video cast, whatever it's called. This is Brothers Talk Film. You can follow me on Twitter if you want, at Ryd Cook. You can follow you on, what do you want to be followed on?
Nothing.
You just want to be followed.
I don't really want
You could just follow around.
No.
You can hunt him down. He lives in Wolverhampton. He lives in this house.
Please don't put that
This is his house. You can hunt him down and just follow him around.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy, on the other hand, to be followed on the internet.
I don't think anyone's actually going to want to follow me. So.
I think they will.
Well, I don't know how you would follow me.
He's got an Instagram.
Yeah, I never.
What about
I
Flickr?
never do Instagram.
He takes photographs.
I've just started doing Flickr actually, which is just Josh Cook, I think.
Follow him on Flickr, Josh Cook.
Probably a million.
There's a million Josh Cooks, so you probably won't find him.
No.
So
I think it might be Josh Cook 191.
Josh Cook 191. That is the Twitter. We're not going to do a title because we don't do that. And that's the end. Is it the end?
We've got a
Should we wait for the beep?
We've got a minute left.
Let's sit here in silence.
Just sit in silence for a minute.
If you want to get in touch and tell us what you thought, that'd be good.
Yeah.
If you've bothered to watch the whole thing, it's quite long. Or listen
Why
to
don't
the
you
whole
set up like a specific Gmail account?
Nah.
Or a specific something. Maybe we'll do that if there's anyone actually watches this.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to do an audio version of this, so the benefit of the audio version is you don't have to look at our hideous faces, which is just
I would
horrendous.
recommend that version.
Yeah, the audio version.
You still unfortunately have to listen to us.
You do have to listen. But you could do other things.
Obviously, will be comments in.
Oh, on YouTube.
It will be on YouTube. So
put some comments.
There will be comments
in the YouTube.
It will be on your YouTube channel.
On my YouTube channel.
So subscribe to that, because if people like this, I guess we'll do this more.
You're going to do it every month. So
hadn't told me that.
Oh no, it does not cut yet.